Welcome to the Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
Hi, I'm Brittany Ashley, your host of Breaking Norms Building Dreams, your guide through this transformative journey in both business and life. This is your place crafted for dreamers, doers, or anyone who has been told they can't. Get ready as we challenge those narratives together. You're tuning in live to the United Public Radio Network, airing on 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. We are streaming on all the popular platforms every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me for a candid and thought-provoking conversation celebrating your unique journey because you are worth it.
The Power Agency is built for those who move like predators, decide like weapons, and execute like their life depends on it. You're either fully in, or you're invisible.
Are you ready to explore the unknown? Dive into the world of the strange, mysterious, and unexplained with Eerie Expeditions magazine. Each issue is packed with spine-tingling tales, cutting-edge paranormal investigations, and exclusive insights into hauntings, cryptids, UFOs, and more. Whether you're a seasoned investigator or just love a good ghost story, Eerie Expeditions magazine has something for you. Join our growing community of truth seekers and adventure lovers. Subscribe today at EerieExpeditionsMagazine.com and unlock the secrets of the supernatural. Are you ready? That's EerieExpeditionsMagazine.com, where the extraordinary is just a click away. Dare to discover.
I'm not sure if I want to be messing with the supernatural. Welcome, everyone, to Author's Quill. We don't do supernatural stuff here. Y'all can go find that somewhere else. There's no ghosts here, except for Bob. Bob likes to hang out with us for some reason. But other than that, there's no supernatural going on here. We have John Good with us one today, and later in the show, we're going to have April Solomon with us. And we're going to be chit-chatting for a little while. You know, I get a lot of questions, especially when I'm out lecturing about writers of the future. Now, they asked me, this is the man you need to talk to. I mean, I can answer X amount when I'm in the field because I know these guys pretty well. I've been hanging out with them for a while, and a lot of the stuff I'm familiar with. But still, there's a lot that goes on, like behind the scenes. And, you know, they have a big crew. I mean, John, how many people actually work on this when the gang comes in? I know you got people all over the damn place, but when the gang gets here, when all the winners get him, I mean, how many people you got running around?
Well, we have... With the actual Rise of Future, we have Joni, and we have Jason and Maliva, and then we have myself and Emily, and Claude. He's the one that does all the social media stuff. So we're the main crew that actually does it. Then you've got the TV company that's there that does all the camera work for the event itself, and they've got cameras where they'll also interview people for the TV show being put together for Riders of the Future. But basically, it's us, and then setting up the event, we have to hire a bunch of people in for setting up and taking down.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you know, it's, as you know, we're very dedicated to it. So we work long hours, and we wear a lot of the different hats, and we're very elastic with the hats. So, you know,
I know that.
Set up something here. I mean, you got Emily helping unload the trucks when she's not here during the workshop week. She's there. She's helping unload the trucks and setting up the stage and cameras and stuff, as well as putting together this script and, you know, working at the camera shots and angles and stuff. So,
well, Emily's new name is She-Ra, so after the cartoon character. And I'm telling you, people, the girl works like a maniac. she's I stop to pick on her every once in a while, but I don't harass her too much because I know she's going, coming, going, coming, going, coming. When she wants to, she'll stop and harass me, which is just as good. So they just
she's at the warehouse right now with Sarah. They're loading the van. They're pulling all the stock and loading the van for San Diego Comic-Con, which is, we leave for San Diego Comic-Con a week from Tuesday. So while I'm doing the show, they're at the warehouse pulling all the stock and the event stuff like that.
And when Sarah is the demon woman, just so y'all know. It's she don't when she stops you, said don't let her stop you, because she stops you, that's it, you're buying something. I'm just telling y'all ahead of time. But since they're gonna be at San Diego, people, so when y'all get to San Diego, you go up to Sarah and say, Joe wants that picture. Can we have a deal? Come on, y'all gotta work her. You gotta wear her down for me when I see her in Atlanta, she's wore down. So, she's something else. Josie's always fun, but Chelsea is always a blast. Chelsea is just, guys, Chelsea's like 6'1". She's always quiet. She's meek. She scares me because she's just, I'm like, Chelsea, you okay? You're going to stab me or something? No, I'm just kidding. She's really a sweetie. She runs the museum over there, which I've been on tour now 3 times. I got to tell y'all something about the L. Ron Hubbard Museum. The first time I went was fun. I had no idea what the hell I was looking at. I'm not going to lie to y'all. The second time I had kind of an idea. By the third trip, I really started to get an understanding of who this guy actually was. I mean, he must have wore 50 hats when he was younger. He was all over the place.
Yeah.
If there was some kind of knowledge out there for him to get involved with, he was in it. And I love people like that because that's how I am. I mean, if it's something I can stick my head in and my hat in, I'm going to. I can't help myself. So the more time you spend there, the more you learn about him, because there's a lot he was in. He was just involved in a lot of stuff. So take some time if you're in Los Angeles next time. Stop by. Say Joe sent you. Ask for Chelsea or what's her name? Oh man, I forgot her name. Shame on Joe. The other little chick that works there. She's real sweet too.
Yeah.
And she's
Rainy.
Yeah. So y'all ask for her. She's real sweet and go for just go for a stroll. It's nice and it's well air conditioned. Beautiful building. The interior is fabulous. They did a fabulous job on restoring it. So, I mean, that's worth the trip by itself. So just stop in, take a look around, and say hi. What's that, Christopher? Donate 100,000. Well, you want to donate 100,000? Feel free. I'm sure I'll be happy. You can but you donate to the radio station too. You know that, right? People are crazy. But while you're in there, I mean, really, it's right there. It's not far from where the events and all are, and it's not far from where John and them are located, so you can stop in and just check it out. What do you mean? Oh, no, I don't think you can go there uninvited. You talking about author services? No, you can't go there uninvited. I'm sorry, guys. You can go knock on a door, but it's really invitation only. The building's beautiful inside, but they don't really do tours if you're not part of what's going on.
And there's always lots of things happening here, so we have to organize stuff in advance to be able to make it available for tours and stuff.
So I'll tell you this: if you want a tour, submit and win. There you go. That's an easy way to do it. Submit and win. Oh yes, the place is fabulous inside. I know y'all have heard me talk about it 100 times. I know y'all seen pictures. Look, you don't even need a tour. I probably got the whole tour on the damn picture screen somewhere on one of the websites. I mean, I've taken 5 million pictures out of there. It's a really pretty building. It's really nice. It's really well done inside. Whoever did the trim did a fabulous job. Mainly because there's not even splits in any of the crown molding or any of that. Usually, crown, when it's been up for a little while, you'll start to see little slits in the corners or little bevels where they overlap, the 45s overlap. You don't see any of that. So whoever put it together really knew what the hell they were doing. And that's rare to find, I got to be honest with y'all. I've been in a lot of wealthy places and I've seen them start to split and crack and things like that. Oh, no, you're talking about, what's her name? I always want to call her Hilda. That's not her real name, and don't call her that.
Gunhild?
She will put a karate kick in your head. Don't come messing around her building. No, she's a sweetie too. Everybody there, if you win and you get to meet these people, or by some chance you get invited because you're somebody or something, you're going to really get to enjoy a really fun group of people, a really hard-working group of people. Except for that Maliva chick. Oh my God. she's just lazy, sits around all the time, doesn't do nothing, drinks coffee. I don't know. She's something. No, I'm just kidding. Just in case she hears it, I'm just kidding. She's a workaholic, just like John is. The whole bunch of them are workaholics. I mean, really, they just can't stop themselves. You know, I'll pick on John because I'll see him in the morning. Sometimes we'll have breakfast and he's gone. I might not see him again until 10, 11 o'clock at night, or we might cross paths as we're going in between different interviews and stuff like that. Well, both of us are doing interviews all day. Or anytime we can get them, because there's classes for the winners. Again, if you win, you get to sit down with some of the most famous illustrators and famous authors in the country, and you get to just hang out and listen to what they have to say. And guess what? You can ask questions. And you know what? They actually like to answer the damn question. Still, after 6 years, it still floors me that somebody as famous as some of these guys don't mind asking questions. I mean, answering questions. Sorry. It's and they answer them legitimately.
It's funny, the podcast is up right now. That just went up a few minutes ago with B. Jackson. We talk about that because she was a winner. She was the grand prize winner, I think, for volume 25. So it's like 17 years ago. And she said that was the first time she ever flew, the first time she'd been out to Los Angeles. She was totally like, green as grass and self-taught. So she never worked with other artists. So she came out here and she found other people like herself. And it was so amazing for her to find her community. So now as a judge, she loves it. She loves every time she can come out and meeting the new winners and getting to find what they've done in their style and however she can help them get started. Because she herself has had so much help from the contest. When she got her first major contract to illustrate Parker Looks Up, the one with Michelle Obama, that whole thing that was made into a major New York Times bestselling book. She called and asked, okay, is this for real? Is this? And said, okay. So I said, send me the contract. And then she also asked Echo, and she said, send me the contracts. We looked at it. Looks legit. So she did it. And like I said, she became a #1 New York Times bestseller with her book. And then she did also another book later on for LeBron James. And she just said, this contest has done meant so much to me. I love being able to work with the new winners and help them like I was helped. And you see that with all the different judges. That's their thing. It's an opportunity for them to pay forward, and it's there's no strings attached, as you've long since learned. Mm-hmm. It's all about what L. Ron Hubbard originally set up to be able to do is to provide that helping hand to the aspiring writer and artist. And that's what we do. And this year, the whole big, like 2 years ago, the whole big thing was the 40th anniversary. This year, I'll be doing a whole big thing on breaking the 1,000 mark of winners. So that's going to be a whole big thing we're going to do there. So we're going to put together interviews and videos, saying, oh, here we go, breaking the 1,000. And then I'm making a map right now. A press release will go out this week. We have the 51st country that we're going to be recognizing, which we're just excited about that kind of thing, as it expands. And so it's really fun. I think it's just being able. I think it's Slovakia it's Romania. That's the 51st country. But I'm making a map showing all the different countries, and I'm going to go out to welcome them as the next country with winners for the contest, because it really means a lot for their careers. It's
fabulous how it grows and how people see it, and especially that's with the internet and all, with the worldwide communications now, more and more people are going to get to see it. I did a Zoom, I guess I should call it a lecture. I did a Zoom lecture about 3 days ago out of DC. It was college students and high school students. It was sort of political. It wasn't completely political, but it was mostly political. And we were doing a lecture, and about halfway through the lecture, a gentleman goes, "Don't you work for Writers of the Future?" And I looked up at him. I said, "No." I said, "But I am friends with a lot of them." He said, "But I hear you talking about," I said, "I work press." I said, "I go out and work press." And I said, "I get as much video and as much interviews." I said, "Let me explain." I said, I interview the entire group before I go. Then I get everybody I can. It's hard to get everybody when you're there. because there's so much going on, and I don't want to pull away from their experience. So I'm aware of what they're doing, and then Carmen rebooks them again afterwards. I said, so you get to hear how they felt when they won. I said, you get to hear how they felt when they're there, and then you get to hear afterwards, unabated, that you get to hear everything that went on afterwards. I said, really, truly, if you sit and listen to all these archives, you're going to find out that it's a fabulous thing if you can win. If any way you can get there and win, it's well worth it. All of them come away learning something. Most of them come away learning a lot. You know, I hear most of them when we do the last set of interviews, you'll hear most of them talk about what they learned, how it's going to help their career. And then some of these people I've gone back 2 and 3 years now and interviewed, and they talk about how it's helped their career, where it's put them, and the thing. Sorry, guys, my grass cutter decided to come cut the grass today, and don't ask, he wasn't supposed to, but he did. But it's you learn so much, and I tell this to people all the time because I'm sitting there and listening to these classes, and I'm learning as we're going. I mean, when it comes to being an author, I've learned quite a lot. I mean, I've learned a lot from the illustrators, but it's not going to help me. I still can't draw a straight stick man, but still, I mean, I understand how it works now. I was telling this to John just not that long ago. You know, when people ask me, when I'm talking to people that actually know about being an author, and they start using terminology, thanks to them, I actually know what the hell they're talking about, and I can actually comment on it. But you know, I always get these questions about, you know, is it good? Who's there? You know, or who's my favorite judge? I don't have any favorite judges. I just tell y'all that up front, so don't bother asking, because even if I had one, I wouldn't tell y'all. So it doesn't work that way. The illustrated judges, I got some buddies, but I wouldn't call them favorite judges. I got what's that, Jenny? Yeah, they're drinking buddies. That's what they are. No, John don't let me drink one of them. He said I can have one drink a day. That's it. That's all I can have. He said, and that's usually iced tea, man. I mean, Jesus. But no. Anyway, I was at this lecture in DC. I mean, I was doing this, and it about halfway through this, and that was pretty much, the professor had to kind of stop it because it had kind of snowballed into a Writers of the Future lecture versus what I was actually supposed to be there talking about Donald Trump and Joe Biden and a few other people. That was some other stuff that was going on at the time. And it really shows me how many people. So there were about 1,800 people attending this lecture, and every one of them seemed to have an interest in this. Every one of them. Now, most of these students were, you know, English lit or political lit people like that, but still, they all had a question. That's why the professor had to stop it. If I would have answered everybody's question, first off, it wouldn't have been finished the lecture, and secondly, the whole second part of the lecture would have been Writers of the Future, which I don't personally have a problem with. I mean, I'm getting paid either way it goes, and I like John, so it's not a big deal. I like Writers of the Future, but he's like, maybe we should schedule. I said, if you're going to schedule a Writers of the Future, you need to call John Goodwin. I said, that's not. I said, I don't actually work for them, and I would feel funny giving a lecture on their stuff. I said, so just call John. I said he'd more than happily do it. And I said, if you need to get in touch with him, write to me, and I'll send you his email. And I said, because he's going to be a little bit more comfortable with talking about it anyway. I mean, I don't mind talking about it all the time. I talk about a lot of other stuff I get asked about, but still, you know, he's actually much more entrenched in it than I am. So he knows much more about it than I do. So if that's what you want, I mean, I know y'all like to hit me up in the middle of a lecture, at the end of a lecture, and ask me questions like that. And I don't mind. I want people to know it's not a big deal. But still, if you want, because when he said that, oh, maybe I should book you out here to come talk about it, and I'm thinking, no, I don't work for them. I'm not supposed to be out here talking about this. That's their job. You could always ask for Emily, but she's mean, people. You don't want to ask for her. If you even make a noise in the audience, she might get him and smack you. Hell yeah. She's got these little whip things. She goes. So I'm always, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. How you doing? Yes, ma'am. No, she is a sweetheart. She is one of the nicest people I've ever met. I don't get me wrong. I'm sure she's got a temper like everybody else on the planet, but she goes out of her way to be nice to me, which she don't have to be. She knows me well enough now that she can abuse me. So, and she still goes out of her way to be nice. So all of them do. I honestly.
Did you register yet for Dragon Con?
I thought I did. Yeah, I think I did the day I got all mad about you know who. I don't want to mention
Yeah.
their name. Oh, speaking of that, Writers of the Future's up for podcast awards, so y'all be sure to get over there and vote. No, I don't have any shows up this year. You'd have to ask John why, because I had a little hissy fit. But I'm telling you, people, I can get angry sometimes. But no, Writers of the Future's up for award. It's not what 3 categories, right?
Yeah. Plus, you can also vote. There's actually 4. You've got the People's Choice Award. So that's the first category. And then there's arts, there's education, and there's storyteller drama. And you just go to podcastawards.com, register, then you can go to those categories and vote.
I voted for him for best male influencer. Yes, you can vote for that too. There's a lot of categories, a lot of things, side things you can vote for. You can still register, I'm pretty sure. I registered about 2 weeks ago, but
you can register, and voting goes through the month of July.
Yeah, so you can go over there, and then the second wave is only the people who actually had were up for an award, and they get to vote. So I think it's 500 usually, but it's a great thing. I always enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. Not this year. Next year we'll probably put 4 or 5 shows up, but I was really angry on two of the categories this year, so I was like, nope. I actually wrote them a friendly letter.
You didn't
really, yeah, they actually did, and he was saying, well, I never really thought about that. I said, well, a lot of these shows fit into a paranormal ufology kind of thing. You should have that there. And I said, a lot more of those shows would submit. I said, remember, the only thing smaller than porn only thing larger than porn on the internet is ufology and paranormal. If you combine the two, they're actually bigger than porn. If you only do them one by one, it's porn, paranormal, ufology. If you do them together, it's paranormal ufology, then porn. I said, so you're missing out on a lot of people. It's a lot of people that would like to do your award. Now, there's this thing called the Signal Award. I'm going to talk about them for a little second. They can kiss my big bleep, 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 and bleep. People, them people are ridiculous. So I went in. I was going to put up a couple of shows, and put up UFO on the cover. It said $0. I put up news on the flip side, a couple of categories, a couple of places. It was 9 G's. I mean, come on, I'm going to go buy me some trophies for 9 G's, man. I mean, give me a break. It's crazy. I don't know. The other one I didn't even look at after that. I was just out. Maybe it's just not the years. But you know, the station did won Best Local Broadcaster 4th year. 4 out of 7 years we've won local broadcaster. We went 2 back-to-back, skipped a year, and then now we're back 2 back-to-back. And all these big radio stations down here with these multi-billion-dollar, million-dollar things, they get so mad. I mean, I was invited to a crawfish boil for R&O, and I was talking to the owner, and he's like, you need to tell me how you keep doing this. He said, we haven't won in 10 years. He said, you've won 4. He said, Joe, are you paying them off? I said, dude, you got more money than I do. I said, maybe you're paying them off. He's like, I don't understand. I said, you don't understand. I said, because you offer pretty much politics all day long, 24 hours a day. I said, we offer politics. We offer weather. We offer fishing. We offer how to fix your website, how to fix your life, how to fix your business, how to chase a ghost, how to chase a UFO. I said, we just offer so much more than y'all do. Everybody for that matter. There's not really many networks out there like this one. I mean, we're just an all-in-one network, and we're getting ready. It won't be long now. Probably 7 months. We'll be splitting into the United Public Radio and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network. Which basically, they'll fall under the brand of United Public UPRN Talk Radio is what they'll fall under. And they're technically going to be 2 separate networks. You're not going to be like this show won't be on UFO Paranormal Radio. Neither will the chat, neither will news on the flip side, neither the 2 girls you heard earlier or the Fred Smith show, Matrix. None of them shows will be on it'll be on United Public Radio. And then all the ghosty shows and all the UFO shows will be under UFO Paranormal Radio. Yeah. Well, the station's gotten so big we don't have a choice. We need big spots, but right now all the high-end slots are taken up, either by these shows or by other shows. But there is no slots. All the slots now you have to work really hard to get a big audience on. The slots from say 4 p.m. to midnight are kind of built in. weekend's a little bit different. You can start around lunchtime and go up from there because there's a lot of people home on the weekend. So you can get a lot like that. What do you mean? Oh, yeah, no, those shows cost. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. There's really only one way to get on this network for free, and that means you have to have a pre-built-in audience of 1 million people or more. And then you still got to convince Michelle to do it. Yeah, so, and then she's got to convince me to do it. So, but if you got a million people or more, you can get in. You might get in there, but really and truly, if you're going to get into everything the station offers, and you're in a low end slot, you're looking at probably $200 a month. High end slots start somewhere from usually around $750 to $2,500, except for Wednesday and Thursday night. They're both $5,000. Hey, you're going to start out with 3 million people. We just don't give 3 million people away for free.
Right.
John, he got one of the cheapest slots, not because of a slot, because we're friends. Well, if you want to be my friend and invite me places and take care of me, I might hook you up. Probably not, but it's
Plus, I like to think that we have a good quality show too, with Riders of the Future.
Oh, the show's excellent. It's
when we first started this thing, it was just under 50,000 was the first number you gave me.
Well, where are we?
And now last week we were 11,000 shy of 3 million.
Yes, and well, he came and hung out with us the other night on the week before last. He came and hung out with us on the chat. We were pushing the podcast award. So yeah, really and truly, you should get over there and vote.
Yeah,
vote.
I've got seven finalists and no wins, so I'm hoping to get a win this year.
Yes, I know.
Categories. So
I've got the same on a couple of shows, and if you add them all together, it comes up to like 23 or 20. I have bitched a lot about that, by the way. just in case y'all didn't know, I have bitched a lot about that. Well, I was going to get trophies. I'd end up with a bunch of trophies back there that would just irritate me now. And matter of fact, I was talking to the guy the other day. He said, you can still get it from all those different years if you want to. I said, no, that's okay. Thank you very much. I'm beginning to think this guy gets a kickback on the trophies. No, the trophies are nice. They're not chinky trophies. And if you win, you go get your trophy. Anybody can put a show in for the podcast awards, for the People's Choice Awards. It's a little minor fee. It's not a lot. I think it's like $50, and you can put a show in. But just know going in, there's a lot of good shows on there. This show will be on there next year. The only reason it wasn't on this year because it's not quite 2 years old yet. So once it breaks 2 years, this show will definitely be on there next year. Well, this show's got a good chance of winning. It really does. And John Show's got a good chance of winning. UFO on the cover right now, there's just not a place to put it on their. There's just no way to really put it. When you go looking around on their different categories, there's no real place for it. News on the flip side, I was going to put on, but I seen Jean shows up there this year. Jean beat us last year, and she beat us. She deserved it. And I was looking at her show this year compared to ours. She's going to win again this year. She's just got a really good, well put together news show. She don't carry the material we carry, and not as near as much of it, but the design of her show is really professional. And I'm going to vote for her, and I think that's her name, Jean, and I think her show is going to do well. And there's a couple other shows. There's a few repeat winners on podcast awards, mainly because they've put some good shows together. You got to remember, it's not just about the quality of the information you're giving out. It's also the quality of everything around you.
The presentation, yeah.
Yeah, so people want to know, what do you mean in mine? No, because you get to look at all this stuff back there. Yes. By the way, speaking of that, see the Monroe Doctrine over there. We're going to be giving that away sometime later in the year. This one over here, Into the Stars, we're going to be giving that away as well. I don't know if we're going to be giving away any of these balloons yet until I go through and see how many are duplicates. Then after that, well, I should have waited for April to come on. But anyway, I'm getting ready to set up a wall in the studio just for books or signed books that I get from different authors, some from the Writers of the Future, some from other authors I do. Pieces of artwork that have been donated to the network, things like that. All that's going to be on one wall so you can see it. And, yeah, well, it's because people send us stuff, and some of that stuff will be up for. Some of the stuff is in duplicate, So you might get some of it is not. Some of it's a one-time piece. Those pieces are staying right there. They'll always be seen. What do you mean sell? I ain't selling nothing. I either give it. Just know this: I'm either going to give it away or I'm going to keep it. I don't sell stuff like that. We do have an online store. And matter of fact, I'm glad you said that. We're putting in a TikTok store this week for something entirely different. Oh, one of my Asian friends has been bugging the hell out of me to show me how to do a really good TikTok. So I finally told her yes. And she's working on that for me. So we're going to actually put in a TikTok store. We've already got a store that sells like T-shirts and all kind of stuff. And I've told John this before. The number one selling thing over there is the thong. Don't ask. I don't know why. I don't even ask myself. It's a white thong with a purple alien face on the front of it. It sells. I'm not going to complain. That and these little pins, these little green and purple pins, they sell like hotcakes. I don't know what people are doing with them, but they're only about that big around. And then they sit like that. They're pretty, but I don't know. I guess if you're going to conferences and stuff like that, they're nice to have. Just a representation of the organization. That's all they are. That's what John was saying. 1,000. So this year we'll break 1,000 winners. It'll be over 1,000, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Well, no, Christopher. If I remember correctly, the Illustrators Awards are not as old as the Writers.
Yeah, they started in year 5.
Yeah. Yes, I actually pay attention when people tell me stuff. Believe it or not, I did. Oh Jesus! You mean name some illustrators? John would have to do that, and I can tell you this. I know there's some big names in that illustrators group because I've seen quite a few of them, and then some of them have some big jobs working for some big companies, and they still give their time to come talk to these crazy people.
Yeah, the original judges. We've got a book that we created. That we did this in the early 2000s is Master Storyteller, and there we have a section on the judges and the original judges for the contest for Illustrators of the Future. If you're an artist and familiar with it, Ed Cartier, he was one of the biggest, most successful illustrators of the Pulp Fiction era. Vincent DeFate, he's done some of the space patches for NASA. Leo and Diane Dillon, they were the first. He was black and she's white, and they were the first couple that worked together in New York to a lot of amazing design. Bob Eggleton, he's won, I think, 13 Chesleys and 11 Hugos. Will Eisner, there's an award named after him called the Eisner Award that's issued every year at San Diego Comic-Con. Frank Frazetta, he's like the king of illustration.
Yeah,
Frank
there's why John's saying that. Let me see if y'all can see it.
Yeah. That's the painting.
Mike's right in the way.
That's the painting he did for Battlefield Earth. And we have about 7 paintings he did for L. Ron Hubbard. He loved L. Ron Hubbard's writing, and Hubbard loved his illustrations. So they worked really well together on their stuff.
While y'all looking at this, there's 2 other ones I wanted these people. So remember, it's okay. Now, I don't know. Sarah said that the lion one was sold out. I don't know if she was lying to me or she was messing.
If we get the Lepertige, so if somebody returns one, then we'll have it that we can actually do. That one there was definitely done.
Yeah, I should have bought that one when I was in. That's my own fault. She had one when we went in. I seen them in Dragon Con, I think, year before last.
Yeah, we said it was the last one. He didn't believe us, and it was. Yes,
it was. She sold that bitch. Excuse my language. That weekend, God, she's a saleswoman. When you look, if you see her and Emily out there, run. I can tell you, run, because you're gonna buy something if you don't.
Yes.
No, they're so nice and sweet. A whole bunch of them are so nice. It scares me. I say this all the time. I'm waiting for somebody to jump out of a closet with a bunch of axes or something. This has got to be one of the. I've worked with a lot of groups in my years, and this got to be one of the nicest, sweetest groups I've ever had the pleasure of working with. Well, no, I've worked with a few other contests, but most of them, well, we're not going to get into that. But most of them, just I wasn't happy with, and we'll leave it at that. And then,
now the thing about this contest that's different than any other contests is that it's free to enter, and Winners are flown out from wherever they live in the world to Hollywood for a week-long workshop. Right now, we've got the Roosevelt Hotel is trying to underbid the Lowe's Hotel to get our business this year. So we're not sure if we're going to be back at the Roosevelt or not. But they're saying whatever Lowe's does, we'll come in under. So Roosevelt's a pretty, it's a very famous hotel here in Hollywood. That's
I like the medicine at the Roosevelt, but I like both of them. You get used to them. They're both nice hotels.
Yeah, they had problems with the elevators. They said the elevators are being fixed, so you'll have good elevators. So that was a big thing for us.
You want to know the biggest thing about them? They don't lie, cheat, or steal. Like some of these other conferences. Anyway, I shouldn't have said that, but it's true. John knows. I mean, John and I are friends now, but I gave that man a lot of trouble, and that's saying it mildly. And I've been nothing but impressed with John since I've actually met him in person, and nothing but impressed with the people who work for him in the conference. And when I go, and I still harass them, don't get me wrong, and I still ask impertinent questions, which I shouldn't ask, but they always answer. Always. Sometimes they look at me like what? They still answer. And the people over at Author Service answer. I mean, I don't know how, I might actually do a thing on this one day and just do a whole featured hour article on this. But to be honest with you, it's rare to find a group of people and remember, I'm press people, so technically I'm dangerous. And whoa. Oh shit. But anyway, the scariest one there is Maliva by far. Okay, let's just get that out there. But everybody is a sweetheart, including Maliva. She goes out of her way to be nice. She harasses me, but she goes out. And Chelsea's such a sweetheart. Yeah. Even though I got to look up, hey Chelsea, how you doing? So is the air okay up there? It's not as bad as Karma though. I'm like, Karma. Oh God, there's a picture of me. It's Karma, me, and Fred. I look like a midget. I said, y'all can't pass that. I mean, really, I look like a midget because both of them are like this taller than me. That was at the gala, but it's a lot of fun. But really, all I can tell you is go to writersofthefuture.com, take the course if you're an author, learn how to do it. If you're an illustrator, get as much information as you can, and submit. It's not like they're going to chop your fingers off or anything. They're not going to be hateful to you. Yeah, I mean, the worst thing you'll get is try again. Yeah. Or you might get some other suggestions. So they actually, with some of the people who have done, not quite good enough to win, but good, they actually kind of give you information and help. So submit. That's all I can tell you. I'll submit. What do you mean, Bruce? No, anything I would submit is too long. I've been actually writing on something right now, but there's 17,000 words. This thing's already at 50,000 words. So, well, I did one with John and them while I was up there a couple of times. I was channeling Elron because I did like 60-something thousand words. But when I got it home, I'm an idiot because I left out whole paragraphs, and you're kind of like, well, what was this supposed to mean? So, but I'm getting better. I'm actually putting things in audio now, and I'm trying to remember stuff in between. And I've learned one of the hardest things that I didn't understand about writing was filler stuff. How do you do, like the sun shines out there and the birds are chirping. But anyway, after listening to these guys, I have to say, I've learned quite a bit about that. So now I can actually do the story and bring the story a little longer and a little deeper by just adding in the surroundings and stuff. I've actually learned quite a lot. And remember this, guys, I'm a complete and utter rookie that has no experience writing at all. And I managed to learn stuff. So just think, if you're somebody who's been doing this for a while, the stuff you're going to come away with. I mean, you cannot pay for this. And if you did, you can pay for like 2-3 years to get this in several $1,000s. And these are the guys who can probably be teaching you too. That's that part. You're going to be paying these guys this information you can get for free. You're going to be paying these guys. And it is intense and it is packed in because it is a short period of time. It's 4 or 5 days, but it's the information is there. Any question you want to ask, you can ask. I have not heard Tim Powers or Jody Lanai, who do the most good chunk of it, say any question was stupid. And trust me, there's a couple of questions I would have said, really, you really, because it kind of sounds stupid to me, but they still answer them, and they answer them politely, and they show them how to do it. And John and I have talked about this. They don't always agree, which is a nice thing, because you got a room full of people. You got 12 people in there, and not all of them people are going to work on the same level or in the same direction. So they're giving you other venues to work in, other ways to work it out. It's nice. The same thing with Todd McCaffrey and Wesley Dean Smith. I mean, they did the same thing, and they showed you kind of different ways to go in promotions and stuff. You know, one's completely indie and one's moving in other ways, but it gave you an idea what might fit your brain the best. You can't, I'm telling you guys, you can't pay for this stuff. You can't. You're going to have to win this. And go down there, listen to these people, learn from them. And then after you get through with all of that information, there's BarCon, which we call it BarCon, just so y'all know.
I finally learned it's called LobbyCon.
Yeah, because there's not a bunch of drinking goes on. I mean, there are some nights, but mostly it's just sitting around talking to each other, maybe having something to eat, drinking some tea or something, and just basically learning. And these guys are relaxed. You're relaxed. You're talking to them, and there's a ton of information there. There's just I can't stress it enough how much information that's there, and all you have to do is win. And look, you can submit 4 times a year, people. Damn, 4 times a year. I say we let you submit 2 free, and we charge you for the other 2. That's what I say. John told me no, but I'm like, come on, John, just 2 times free, 2 times they have to pay. But he's like, no, we can't do that. I'm like, damn. Yes, they like giving y'all stuff for free. I don't know what to tell you. Anybody who's willing,
I just posted in the chat there. We're expanding our activity for artists at writersofthefuture.com or illustratorsofthefuture.com, because we have a forum, and so we're beefing up the Illustrator forum. So I just posted a link there. We're doing a survey. You can go there, a SurveyMonkey survey, to answer about. I think I've created about half a dozen questions there of what we can do for the to expand the forum. You know, what's needed and wanted to help artists specifically. It's free to enter. You can lurk as well. You don't have to join. But the thing about the forum that we have, as with anything else in Rise of the Future, we have a basic policy. Like if you join the forum, you're gonna be in there. There's no no dissing. There's no giving somebody a hard time and being invalidative. You're given one warning, and if you still violate that, then you're banned from the forum. You can't be in there, because it's just, we want people to feel like it's a safe space they can go and share their art. And if they're not, if they're not Van Gogh yet, that's fine. They can still, wherever they're at is where they are, and you're not going to get better unless you keep on practicing and working at it and getting other people to get some good advice. And that's what this is. So we have several winners this year that wanted to help raise the bar of the forum for Illustrators of the Future. So if you're an artist or know somebody else it is, and they're shy, which artists very much, because it's just you and your painting and your stuff. So it's very easy
artists
to be
very introverted. Yes, they are.
Yeah. So you can go there, you can join it, and feel free, and know that it's a safe space for you to visit and get questions answered and get direction, advice from professionals. And like, we've got the Rise of the Future workshop that Emily created, and we're about ready to put up another interview with Kevin Anderson and Robert J. Sawyer and Nedia Corfor. Those are all in the final edits right now. Then those will go up there as well. And then this next year, we're going to be filming several interviews with illustrators and create an Illustrators of the Future workshop. So we'll have that also for artists to be able to help them with, how to be able to make it a career out of art.
Now, for you authors, I'm going to give you a cheat. Okay, I'm going to show you how to cheat. Yes, this is a cheat. Okay, get this book right here. Okay, or just meet the guy who wrote this book. Okay, that's what you need to do. Somehow or another, he manages to get one of his people in every year. I'm not sure how he does it. No, he's not paying off anybody, because I know better than that. But Wolf, somehow or another, always seems to have somebody representing him there. I don't know how, but it's he's an interesting character. So don't tell John I did that. Okay, I'm gonna get in trouble. Not supposed to let y'all cheat. But anyway, take a look at it and see. But it's the course is very interesting. I've taken it about 4 times myself. When I get to the end where you got to write the story, I'm kind of like, But everything else really makes a lot of sense to me. And to be honest with you, taking the course, and if you win and you get there, so you have all that information plus the stuff you've been gleaming in your own life. Now you've got these big dogs. They're going to put it all together for you. And once they do that, it's up to you where you go. So I know quite a few of these authors have done quite well for themselves. I know quite a few of the illustrators have done quite well for yourself. I guarantee you, when you go to a company and you said, I want Writers of the Future, you got a door. It's one step in, 1 foot in the door is how I should say it. You've just put one foot in the door. It's helped you to get you there. For a lot of companies, it might even be 2 feet in the door, but still, it's there and it's going to help you. And they're going to take you more serious when they see this. They're going to be like, oh, really? Because not everybody can win. And it's not, it's not, I mean, come on, it's only 12 people. Well, technically it's 24 people a year. No, I mean, there's 12 winners a year. And there's the big dog winners that nobody knows about till you get to the gala. Yeah, that's the grand prize winners, but everybody else has won, and there's a first, second, third, and fourth place, or first, second, third place. And I'm telling you, if you can win, whether you're an illustrator or an author, if you can win and you can get your butt in there and meet all these people, it's going to change your life. Matter of fact, we were just talking with somebody from the UK the other day, and actually 2 back to back, 1 week, 2 weeks, 2 weeks back to back. And when you listen to them talk, you can tell it's changed their lives. And it's changed their lives in a couple of ways. Not just they might get more jobs out of it. It helps to motivate them. Where before you might have kind of been lagging along. Well, let me try this. This actually motivates you. When I talk to people after the gala, because, Carmen will book them afterwards. When I talk to these people afterwards, they're motivated. Which is, way more than when they got there. Even though they were motivated when they got there, I don't want to take anything away from them. But when they left, they were more motivated. They were out there working it. And I was talking to somebody, this week, and he was telling me before he had like 1 book, now he's got 4. That's motivation. And you never know which is going to be the book that goes whoosh.
Yeah.
Look at Ender's Game. Boom, bam, big old movie out of that book. There's lots of books you're going to hear about that actually drove people to make big movies. Well, Stranger Tide is from 10 Powers, and that's the motivation for what? 4 movies? The Pirates of the Caribbean is what I'm talking about, people. Yeah, that was the motivation for those books, for that movies. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. You just never know what book. You might be reading and thinking, well, it's not a bad book. It's not great. And then boom, next thing you know, somebody's asking you, can I look at Fire in the Sky? This is a book. I read the book, and the book was, boom, they made a big ass bold movie out of it. So you just never know what it is. And you never know what it's going to do for your career. Is it going to make your career? Is it going to make you wealthy? You never know until you try. And at least with these guys, you have a good chance. Oh, you're going to be the next J.K. Rollins. Look, I hope all of y'all are the next J.K. Rollins. I hope so.
That'd be cool.
Just not her political views, but everything else I'm fine with. Y'all can do it. Well, we're not going to get into those new Beastie movie thingies. It's maybe we'll do a show on that in the future. Maybe I'll do that in a chat, but no, I didn't. No, we ain't going to talk about it. How's that? Just leave it alone. By the way, for the people in Rumble and for the people in Pal Talk, because I know we now have the Pal Talk chat room back up and running. So, people, you can come join us either on Rumble or YouTube or even Facebook if you want to. And that way, the questions actually come in here and I can turn them on right here. And they show up. We're just going to do some jibber jabber. They pop up right here. And for everybody to see them, or I can do this. And they'll pop right into the room, and you can see them like that. That's just jibber jabber, people. But either way, it makes it easier for John because he's not seeing y'all. He's looking at me like I'm crazy when I'm talking to y'all. Or the people
No,
who are watching.
I'm seeing the stuff that you put up there because I joined the YouTube with YouTube.
Yeah. Okay. Which one of these did I have up here? Okay.
UFO Gods and Extraterrestrials is right now.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Which one? Okay. Let me go find it. That's John.
And I sent the link to April 2.
Yeah. Did you? Because I sent it to her too.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. We finally got the right one. No, but I know Power Talk is growing, and we brought it back so we could actually incorporate a lot more questions into the shows, and eventually we'll figure out a way to bring the audio back in, because I keep getting people asking about phone calls, but we don't use well, they closed it down. They made it something else. I can't even think of the name of it now. It's been so long since we used it, but we used to use it, and you used to be able to do calls on it, and it went the way of the dodo bird. Microsoft made it into something else. I think they call it Team or something. And yeah, so I don't know if it takes calls or not. We'll have to look into it to see. And no, we don't mind taking calls. It's just our problem with calls are if there's no way to moderate a call, I don't know what's going to come out of your mouth. So it's fine on shows like News. On the flip side of the chat, it doesn't matter. Those shows are designed for it. This show is not. I'd get offended if someone came on and said something like they might say on one of those other shows. So UFO Undercover is not. Just think of this show and UFO Undercover as PG-13 at best. I really like to just say PG, but Michelle gets mad at me, so PG-13. But really and truly, that's just where we are. No, John's got like 8 wives, maybe 9 if I'm counting right. Yes. Emily's wife number 1, and then we got wife number 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can't tell you. You're trying to get me in trouble. Stop it. God. How many kids? I don't know. I've lost count at 40. I mean, Jesus, he's starting his own little. I think he's done hooked up with Elon Musk, and they're all going to go to Mars or something. I don't know. It's crazy stuff. No, he's a good man, actually, guys. He really is. And you know how I am about people, so yeah, that's just complimenting itself. Oh, I've been mean to a lot of people in my life, so including John. But I like John, so I let him slide. That's not true. He's just a good guy, is what it is. I don't let anybody slide. He's just a good guy. But I'm telling you, go to Writers of the Future. Get in there, learn how to write, learn how to be an illustrator. Submit to the Writers and Illustrators of the Future. Like I said, 4 times a year. Don't try no AI bullshit. They will catch you, just so you know.
Yeah.
First off, you can't AI illustrator stuff. I mean, not illustrator stuff, author stuff, because it's just jibber jabber. Illustrator stuff, they have rules about what you have to submit. So if you go in and do this great piece of art made by AI and there's nothing goes with it, they're not going to accept it. I'm just being honest with y'all. It's
yeah, and don't take this as an opportunity to say, okay, good. You say no AI art or no AI stories. Watch me. I'm gonna show that I can do it. That's not the purpose of the contest. We're trying. There's a lot of people that really want to be able to do storytelling and creativity, and for themselves to be able to come up with their own stories, and the artists to be able to come up with their own art. And that's what this contest is about. And you're only doing yourself a disservice. And then if you try to do it, and we have tools that we use to make sure that art is not AI art. Because if there's a question, we say, okay, good, give me your layered files. Guess what? With AI art, you don't have layered files.
Just recently, Congress said they're going to start making it mandatory that there's a tag inside of the AI stuff. It probably won't get until the next set of bills, but I guess maybe even Congress has been getting duped by AI. Well, you see what they did with Rubio, right? They went around, they used the AI and went around calling different people, Congress people and people overseas, with a Rubio voice. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man. Oh, the end of the world's coming for sure.
Well, that book that you got behind you, James Rousseau's book, that's what that is. That's how it starts World War III, was that whole thing there. Hey, April.
Hi.
It's the Dragon Lady. It's we're alive and kicked. Hey, why are my things on?
She's at a conference. She's like the queen of the ball there at this big 3-month conference, whatever, 3-week conference.
Oh, the hell, where you at, girl?
Oh, it's the Sawdust Festival?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's I mean, I thank you for all that credit. It's 2 months.
Okay. Oh, only 2 months. But she's still the queen of the ball.
Yeah, it's a great show. It's at Laguna Beach, and the Sawdust Festival has been going on since the '60s. And everyone builds their booths from scratch with plywood and drywall and lights, and it has to be up to code. So you're essentially
Oh,
building
shit.
a small house, is what you're doing.
Too bad I wasn't there. That's what I used to do for a living. It's yeah, I was a contractor for 40 years
Yeah.
before I sold my business. Yeah, my son was like, "You sold this? I gave you half. Don't worry." Other half went in the bank for a retirement fund, so I can hang out and get in more trouble. Is what it is. Yeah, I like it because it can give me more time to travel where I used to not be. So you're out there, you're selling the art. Or can you sell art, or just can you show it? What y'all doing out there?
Have either of you guys been to the Sawdust before?
No.
No. Well, so if you come, there's if you give my name, you can get free tickets and you can just walk right in. But what it is, it's an art show that only shows local artists in Laguna Beach.
Oh, that's cool.
And you have to provide 9 pieces of documentation to prove that you're a local artist that lives in Laguna Beach, if you are to be in the show. So,
Well, that's cool too.
It's very cool. And the joke is like they need a blood sample and, all that. Like 9 pieces of documentation is a lot. And
that's a lot. It's like, wow.
It is.
It's a lot.
Are you going to be?
Well, you got
San
9
Diego
pieces easy.
Are you going to San Diego at all for Comic-Con?
I don't believe so. No, unless someone asks me.
Okay, but you're going to Atlanta for Dragon Con.
I am. Yes.
Good
And
deal.
also,
I gotta send around the invitation because we're going to do on I think Saturday night. We're going to do the winter dinner. I'm going to organize up a dinner for all the different winners. I mean, everybody, it's Dutch, but still we'll get all the people that from any of the years that are there. We got several winners from this year coming, but you'll be there. And there's like half a dozen people with booths there in the art show, winners over the years. And then Joe's going to be there.
Yeah, I hear there's going to be a lot of people there. Yeah, I'm coming to harass it. Well, see, for me, it's killing 2 birds with 1 stone. My sister lives in Atlanta, so I get to go harass her. And my niece loves Dragon Con. She's like, "Can I go? Can I go? Can I go?" I said, "Yeah, if you go buy a ticket, you can go." She's like, "Big Joe." I'm like, "Don't Big Joe me. I don't hear that shit." It's like, because last time I paid for her to go, and then they didn't even go. They gave it to a friend of theirs. I'm like, "Oh, they just joke." Now she's got a little. Now I got I guess a god niece, whatever you call her. She just had a baby a couple months. I don't know about now. It's a couple years ago. Damn, I ain't even went and seen her baby yet. Shame on me. Damn. But anyway, I get to go up there and see them, and I get to hang out with John and them, get some press work done. Maybe run into Pat while I'm there and see what's going on with him. And I always have fun when I go. I always lose about 10 pounds too.
Yeah, because he has to walk up and down those hills there.
Yeah, first year I went, I said, I'm going to choke somebody out for dragging me out here. Oh, Lord.
But what's cool is last year, April, they have it's the biggest blood drive in science fiction conventions, but it's the second biggest blood drive in the U.S., which is at Dragon Con. And so April did the art for the T-shirt, which when people donate a pint of blood, then they get a cool T-shirt. It's always a dragon because it's Dragon Con. So she did a dragon, which is great. It was awesome.
Thank you.
I don't do no free pints of blood. They give me anywhere from $100 to $500 for my blood. So
they don't give you nothing at Dragon Con.
That's what I'm saying. Well, because I'm RH negative. I'm actually O negative, which is very hard to get. So yeah, down here they'll pay you anywhere from $150 to $550 for 1 pint. It's well, because it's it's a universal
for you.
Well, it's universal donor blood. That's why, and it's not the easiest. But it's only 7% of the world's population, and it's a universal donor. So they really go after that. Well, because my blood they don't need your blood if they got my blood. I mean, that's just the way it works. I can
see they like my blood because I'm one of those guys that doesn't do drugs. So
I don't do drugs.
They can take platelets and the blood cells. It's funny when I donate because the people in my group that are work within the the Scientology area, we don't, we're not into drugs at all. So when we go to the various hospitals, when they find out, when we check off, the religion, they go, "Oh, good, you're the groups that we can actually use all the blood on." So that's always nice to be able to do that.
Yeah.
That would be me as well. I've been clean of everything for I'll have 13 years in October.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, so I'm proud of it.
Yeah, you should be.
Well, you should easily have 9 pieces. I think I've seen 9 pieces of your art or more.
No, it's IDs. 9
I know,
pieces
but
of
I was
IDs.
just thinking of. I was just thinking of her. Now I'm
Her
confused.
driver's license, her birth certificate, her
Bills,
her bills, her contact lens,
blood
prescription.
sample, bone marrow.
Damn, they're crazy. I don't.
All that cool stuff.
Exactly.
I'm glad I got more than 4 because the old lady has the rest of it. I'll have to think about that. Oh wait, I got a bunch of credit cards. That'll work. I got 42 credit cards. There we go. I just start flipping them out like they're a deck of cards. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah. What's that, Denise? No, she's talking about a thing going on at Laguna Beach. Are you in California? Where are you in California?
Yeah, Laguna Beach is in California.
No. Somebody was. I was asking this lady. What part of California are you in? Are you in San Diego? How far is San Diego from Laguna Beach? Because I don't know.
So Laguna Beach is like right smack dab in the middle between Los Angeles and San Diego.
Oh, well,
It's like an hour away.
In the middle, yeah. So
you live in San Diego, you should know that. And I'm talking, you're playing this idiot over here, but I mean, come on. Damn, I probably went there once or twice when I was stationed I went to several different beaches when I was stationed in San Diego, because that's where I did my boot camp, was in San Diego. We went to I don't know, like 7 or 8 different beaches. We can't even get into that because it's a G-rated show, but it's there was one beach I was just surprised by, and we'll just leave it at that. I was like, what is this beach? Oh man, I had a lot of fun when I was stationed down there. I mean, we used to go to LA all the time. We go out to Las Vegas all the time. It was a lot of fun there.
Now,
And
April, you're growing your hair out, it looks like.
Yeah, I don't want to, cut it too short, but I'll get it trimmed and clean up the dead ends. But
yeah, but it definitely looks longer than last time I saw you.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to take care of that long hair. I know how that is.
I tried to short and it didn't look that good. It looked pretty bad. So. Well,
some people don't look good with short hair. Some people do. Some people look good with their hair pulled back. Some people don't. It's just one of them weird things. I don't know why, but some people look really good when their hair's all pulled back. Some look better when it's out and flopping around. And it's just different for different people.
Emily still likes her hair long.
Yes, well, because she's a lioness now with that gold streak going through it. I was like, Emily, what'd you do your hair? She's like, God, didn't you notice? I said, I was raised by like 6 women and I raised 5. I said, I notice everything. I said, I know things about where most guys should never even have learned. It's but I always notice changes of hair and hair colors and shapes and sizes. I guess it's too many years of getting. You didn't notice I changed my hair? Yes, I did. What are you talking about, Kimberly? What do you mean? No, we call her Dragon Lady because she draws dragons. Really, 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 really good too.
Yeah, her website. Can you pull it up? Because it's what, April Solomon Art.
Yes,
Let me see. You go find that.
Keep it simple.
It's
Yeah. No, it's just she is amazing. I mean, you were the winner.
She put Tom to shame.
40. Were you in volume 40?
I didn't hear that. What was that?
Were you in volume 40 or 41? You're 40.
41. Or 39. I think it was
39. Okay, you're 39.
It was 39. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Tom got mad at me when I told him you draw a better dragon than he does. I thought he was going to smack me. He said, what? I said, I don't know. I think she draws a better dragon than you do. I said, I think she's up there with.
Yeah.
I told Larry, I think she's up here with you, Larry. Larry said, I think she is too.
Tom is a tall order. I don't know about that, but
he does a lot of good stuff. I'm not saying, he does a lot of fabulous stuff, but I think your dragon was actually better than his. It's look, I'm an honest person. It gets me in trouble a lot. So but like when I was talking with Larry Elmore about it, we were talking about you, and she's like, "Come on now, pay it." So here I am talking with Tom Wood about you and Larry Elmore about you. People, if y'all don't know who Larry Elmore is, he's the dragon guy from Dungeons and Dragons.
Absolutely.
And April just has a talent for drawing dragons. I mean, some people do, some people don't. I got to watch her dragons because they look like they're going to eat you when you're not paying attention.
Well,
I don't have it here.
Oh, a copy of the book?
Yeah.
You don't have a copy, John.
I'm in a separate room now where I do the podcasts and the interviews. I've got 40 and 41 here, plus the other books we've been recently promoting: Final Blackout, Through the Stars, and Battlefield Earth. That's
cool. Well,
anyways, when Joe gets the website up, then we'll be able to see it, because I think you've got it on your website.
Now,
so right now, you still mostly doing dragons or commission work, or what do you?
So
books?
I'm actually like expanding some new topics and new horizons right now. I'm always going to be painting and drawing my dragons, but I'm really interested in learning how to open up my portfolio and give a more broader spectrum of things that I can do, just so I can increase my my audience and show them that I can do more than just dragons, and and set myself up for success with companies that I would like to get work from. So I'm not just limiting myself to just one subject matter,
right?
Because I do enjoy doing a lot of different things, but I've just been on this quest to, like, I want to be known for my dragons. Like, that's just been my quest. My number one passion is to illustrate dragons in a way that are very different and not this standard typical thing that you see in like a Spencer's gift store, but really design them like they're these motifs of godlike creatures, and just have really try and put some spirituality behind it,
right?
But like I feel like I'm coming into a new chapter of my career where I feel like I need to broaden and expand my repertoire and show people that I can do more than just dragons, and really dive deeper into that. So that's kind of been my new quest.
Okay, what is this weird thing on my screen?
Your art.
Oh, what's that?
I said, what is this weird thing on my screen? Can I make this thing bigger?
So that was my my design for the first dragon in Garden of Eden. I had an idea, like if Eden, existed or did exist, I don't know, but like Eden must have had dragons if it had all animals. So I thought, what would that dragon look like? So I came up with this dragon called the Last Dragon of Eden. And
it's cool looking. I know that.
Thank you.
I'm not on her website right now, people, so don't get carried away. And
I've been updating my website, so I'm feeling better about it. So that was a piece I did while I was at the Laguna College of Art and Design, and that's a very old piece. But we were asked to come up with different shape designs and merge some different animals, and and I always found a way to make it a dragon. Like I was
thinking, shame when you're dragon trying to eat these little birds down here.
It's not eating them; they're flying. they're all hanging out.
They look like they hauling ass to me. Let me get out of here. Oh, that's cool looking there. It's a pretty dragon.
Birds of a feather.
Yeah, it's definitely a pretty. I have no what's it. Hey, look, I know her. That's not a dragon, but we know her. Wait, we're obviously in the wrong place. Wait, let me go look down here. Hey, I know her too. Let me go look over here. I know. Oh, there she is with everything around her and stuff. Look at that. You got some stuff, girl.
Is that where you are? Is that the show right there?
No. So the Sawdust Festival, if you go on to my Instagram, I've got some videos and pictures there. I do have information about it on my website, but if you want to see more pictures of the Sawdust booth, you can go into Instagram. You should be able to see it.
Yes, I see your Instagram cross my page from time to time. You really got some nice stuff on there.
Oh, thanks.
Where are you right now? Because I see you're constantly patting down your hair, so you got lots of wind happening.
Yeah, I'm actually outside, and I've got this picture behind me to, make it look like I'm in a house, but I'm not. I'm actually outside.
Yeah.
I hope that can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe fine.
There's like a road like right over there, and there's cars going by, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, we can hear the traffic, but we hear you fine too.
Okay, good.
Oh wait, I recognize this from
Yeah.
There we go.
That's the winter picture, yeah.
That was a big painting I did. That was a
That's the painting for the book for Writers of the Future.
Yeah, that was that painting was 3 by 4 feet when I
Damn,
did it.
that's nice.
Because I knew it was going to shrink down to 6 inches in the book, so I thought I'll make it really big, so then when it shrinks down, then it's going to read with a lot of detail.
Yeah,
that was my brilliant idea. And I hired a model. I did concept sketches.
Where'd you find the model dragon from?
The dragon was the easiest part, but the model, because in the story, this vampire is this specific race and gender and age, and so I hired a model that fit exactly those character traits in the book.
Yeah.
And I had her pose with the bag. I did the lighting, professional lighting, and everything, and I hired my friend to help me because he's a professional photographer. So I got all these pictures of her, and I gathered all this reference so I could come up with a painting that was believable for the book, and I'm really happy with how it turned out.
Well, it shows me how much attention I pay. So I've seen this picture in the middle here before. The goddess of Atlantis. I never realized her hand was on top of a dragon.
Yeah, he's kind of just hiding in plain sight. You don't see him at first,
I was like,
next to her.
I was like, come on! I can't believe I just seen that. What's that, Glenn? That's why we call her the Dragon Lady, because she really does good.
Thank you. And
I don't know.
that's what I did last year for Year of the Dragon.
It's I've always been a big fan of dragons. I don't know, April. I think you might have it whooped.
Where's the dragon you did for DragonCon?
That's in there. It's under original art.
All right, I'll go clip over there in a minute. See, this guy looks like he might just be lunch. I mean, you get too close, you might be lunch.
Yeah.
He reminds me of the Dragon and Egan. Is that what the show was called? There were a bunch of dragons riding around fighting. I can't remember the damn name of the show now. It reminds me a lot of it now.
Game of Thrones?
No, this was way before Game of Thrones. This is probably a decade before Game of Thrones. It's I want to say it was EGON, but I might be wrong.
Aragon?
I think that's what it was, but it's been a long time since I've seen it. But I was surprised at some of the dragons, and I'm always surprised sometimes on television when you see a good dragon versus just let me just throw that in there and we'll call it a dragon kind of stuff. Look at you now. He looks like I want to go scratch him on the head. See what you're doing, baby.
Was 3 by 4 feet, and it was made for my final project that I did while I was at the Laguna College of Art and Design. And that was entered into a contest at the college, and it won first place, and then the college purchased it from me, and now it's a part of their permanent collection at the college.
Yeah, that's way cool.
So now you're painting these. I mean, what is the medium and what are you using? I mean, is it oil? Is it
it's oil.
Charcoal? Okay.
Yeah. Oil,
that's why.
Oil and clayboard wood panel. And what I learned, like by doing this painting, is that the preparation is about 80% and 20% is the execution of the painting.
See, I'd love to see him. I'm a big fan of oil. I'd love to see him up close and personal. Matter of fact, I was at the museum. I got my hand slapped. I was in the museum in New Orleans. They got such great oil in there. You want to touch them, and you're not supposed to. But boy, I just wanted.
Right.
I said,
Really-
keep your oily fingers off of there. We can go back to that one. It was like,
So you should bring your checkbook so when you see April, you can buy one of her oil
I can't,
paintings. of her.
I can't afford April. She costs too much, man. I had to take on a
She's
second
worth
job.
every penny. You know that.
I'm not saying she ain't. It's this is interesting. Now, see, this would make a great Mardi Gras thing. So what they do down here is they do oils, and then they take the oil and they turn them into Mardi Gras posters. And like Larry Harris, he did it for 10 years, a whole decade. He made millions. I mean, literally millions off of them.
Wow.
Well, I mean, average Mardi Gras is going to be 3 to 5 million people. So 2 to 5 million people. And half of them are going to buy a damn poster when they're here. And that's what I'm saying. He made a lot of money. And I ended up with one of his, it was 5 foot tall, 3 foot wide. I found it in a museum by accident. It's him. It's the devil with the devil, with actually a guy with the devil woman standing on one side and the angel standing on the other side, putting their hands on his shoulders. And that thing sold literally, I think it sold like 3 million posters. And I got it for $750. The guy said, "Oh, it's old raggedy. It's probably." I got it home and lightly dusted. It was beautiful. I think it sold on auction for like 33,000. It might even been more than that. Yeah.
Wow.
Because he's dead now, so Unfortunately, your art's worth more when you die. I hate that. So what we got here? A wolf?
Yeah, that was for a
They
gallery
call you Wolf Lady.
in Los Angeles called the Hive Gallery. And I did
See, you got such detail to your work. I didn't mean to cut you off, but the more I look at it, I mean, you kind of remind me of Echo in some ways because she's so detailed when she does certain things. I mean, she just makes sure every little thing is there. And it's one of the things that turns me on about art is when someone takes the time. I mean, I see a lot of stuff and it's just like a face and there's not much to it. But I mean, the more you look in here, the more you see. And the fact that you took the time to just roll all of this out, I know it had to be a pain in the ass. It's the eyes look good, and then you can see the little pieces in the eye. I mean, that's even the baby teeth. I mean, it's just, I shouldn't call them baby teeth, but it's there's just so much in this picture, and it's just such an, it's, what is it, just almost all black and white, isn't it? I see a little color in there, but it's I don't know. What do y'all think, guys? You can't afford her art either, Danny. Forget it, buddy. you got to take it. You'll have to sell your wife to buy a piece of her art. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting myself in trouble.
You already did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
So it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years since you were out here in Los Angeles. So what are some of the highlights that you still remember that were like made the biggest impression on you as you look back?
The impressions of being at the award ceremony or the week-long
Either.
the week-long workshop, I bought a book, one of those black and white composition books, so I could take notes. And meeting everybody for the first time, meeting you, meeting everybody, and being able to indulge in asking questions and asking my heroes anything I wanted, and then spending time with them, like actually spending time with the people that shaped my future long before I ever, they ever knew that I existed. And, like Larry Elmore, I finally get to shake the man's hand and, introduce myself and let him know that he was such an inspiration for me. Bob Eggleton and Cerulio and, and then meeting Echo for the first time and her husband Lazarus. And, and it was just so surreal to suddenly feel like I was on the right path and it was taking me somewhere because I was recognized for all the hard work that I was doing. But, and I'm not saying like and I truly mean this, I really feel like I'm not there yet. Like, I feel like I've got another good 5 or 10 years before I get to where I really feel like I'm trying to get to be completely honest. Because the artists I look up to, they've achieved this, this level of professionalism that that I'm seeking. And, but being treated the way that I was treated at that workshop, it really felt like for the, won it for not the first time, but I guess for the very first real time. Like, I've never had a red carpet rolled out for me before. I've never shared that kind of spotlight with other artists before, and I never had a chance to like receive an award of that prestigious quality before. So it was really life-changing for me, and it's such a self-esteem booster, and to feel like, hey, I actually contributed something to the world, and I got my artwork published, and I got to be surrounded by people that appreciate what I'm doing. And and as an artist, it's a journey that never ends, because there's always
Right.
something new that I'm trying to create. And it's you can only be satisfied for so long, and before you know it, and then you're off and running to the next goal, the next dream. And that's the great pursuit of being an artist, is to create beauty and hope that inspires the people coming in after you.
Yeah. I just had B Jackson's on this week's podcast.
Oh, is she? Yay, I love
Yeah, that's my girlfriend there.
Yeah. And I asked her what does she remember, because she was like almost 20 years ago that she was the grand prize winner. And she said the L. Ron Hubbard essay that she had read on art is the quality of communication is, looking back at it, with everything else that happened, you said they're making all the friends and relationships, which she was self-taught, and she never had any other artist friends, and she'd never flown before. She'd never been to Los Angeles. It was like a whole new thing for her. So when she came out here, she was like so amazed with it. But then that art was the quality of communication, and her art, her ability to communicate with her art is just superb in what she does. Like that Parker Looks Up that she illustrated is just like, it's so full of her communication of what's happening there. And then what she did a whole Christmas thing with Target, and she did the several other books too. She's amazing. So I look at your stuff there, but anything like that stands out in your mind from when you were there a couple years ago? About like the various techniques or technology or anything from Hubbard or anything like that, from the art stuff, because you were given the art book to read. I don't know if you read it or not, but that was just curious.
I think the techniques I've been, I've kind of just really I think found a way to make it a part of my everyday life. And when I saw Cerulio's technique, I was, I've seen Larry Elmore's work for many, many years, and I'm still in awe of what he can do. And Bob Eggleton, and but Cerulio's shown us some new pieces on his presentation that I've never seen before. And he was talking about how you need to see artwork in a 4-dimensional space instead of a 3-dimensional space.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And I never forgot that. And so, I've been trying to dissect what that means. And I think what he's talking about, like how a sculptor sees when they sculpt something, it has to look amazing from all angles. Right. So yeah. I thought maybe he talked about this other space where it's not just 3-dimensional, it's something that you think on all degrees. And I really liked that. I thought that was a very eye-opening note about technique. And Cerulio is another amazing dragon artist. He's one of. So I'm so grateful you guys got him to be a judge. That's so cool.
Yeah, he's such a nice man.
Mm-hmm. Was that the answer to the question, John?
Yeah, that's fine. I was just curious for yourself what was, what stood out there, because this people that are listening right now, they're fans, but they're also artists, and so so they can discover new things too that you learned and share, and they'll be looking you up to see, okay, so April Solomon, let's see what she is in this stuff here, and you become yourself your own inspiration to other artists too, that as you're doing your curve, like you're not Larry Elmore, you're not Cirillo, you're not Bob Eggleton.
Going to be better than all of them. Give her a little time. I'll
give you time, but just they can maybe more relate to you. It's like what we find with the winners, they can sometimes better relate to people like yourself, because they're like totally like intimidated, like, oh, I can never be like blah, not realizing that everybody has a curve. You know, when you get like Larry Elmore's, his beginnings were so humble. It's like, oh my gosh. You know, he had a graphite pencil that he had to sharpen with a knife, and he had the boxes that they got their groceries in. That was what he had to illustrate on, because they were that poor, you know, living with his mom as a single parent in Kentucky. You know, so it's a self-portrait. Awesome.
I was thinking, then I'd be trying to kiss this chick, man.
It could, you know, who knows? I sold that piece years ago.
I can imagine you would, yeah.
I should do more. I should do more dragon women.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate all that, John, because, you know, honestly, like, I still see myself as someone that has so many more years left before I get to where I need to be in my career.
Don't sell yourself short, girl.
I know I do. And so, you know, I have so many people in my life that are always telling me, you know, you're so far ahead of where you started, and I know that, but this like humbling like student is still so alive and well in me, and I
so that's a good thing. Do you consider yourself still a student?
Oh, absolutely. Like,
oh, girl, you should be teaching. What are you talking about?
I
mean, I'm not trying to swell your head, because, you know, but really and truly,
to learn is what I mean.
Well, you do. I'm sure you do. I mean, I know, because I don't know nothing about art, but other than what I've been taught. But really, when I look at your art and think about all the people's art I've seen over the years, and I've seen a lot, you're good or better than a good chunk of them. I mean, really and truly, just recently, and I hate to say this because it's going to probably swell your head, but I was just recently at the museum, and I got to say, half the art I've looked at in here is better than what I see in there. And those pictures are, you know, multi-million-dollar pictures these days. I don't know, April. I mean, you got a knack. You just got a talent. Some people just got a gift, and it seems like you have it.
Yeah.
It's, you know, I've seen a lot of artists. I've talked to a lot of artists over the years, and don't get me wrong, a lot of them are good artists, but just looks. Let me ask you a question. How hard is it for you to produce a piece? I mean, does it just come in your head, you sit down and draw it, or, I mean, how hard is it really for you to produce it all the way into an oil? I'm just curious.
So I have a whole range of answers to that question. So if it's for a client, then I have to get to a different type of mode of work where it's all about following a schedule and system so that I can achieve a finished painting in a timely manner. And what that means is getting a description of what they need, drawing those thumbnails, doing the valued sketches, coming up with the color concepts, getting the photo references I needed, and then transferring the drawing and painting it. And that can take anywhere as long as a week to a month, depending on what the project is.
That's pretty fast.
And that's thanks to my school. My school really drilled into how to work efficiently and fast. So if I have like anything that comes my way, we're like, you got to have it done in a week. I'm like, I can do that, because my school was so good about putting us under the pressure to get it done. But if it's like for me, like a personal project, I tend to be a little bit looser with my system. I'm not so like thumbnail, color study, values. Like sometimes I draw and doodle, or go to a museum and draw fossils and bones and just see what inspiration comes along and what hits me. And, you know, I'll kind of like muddle my way through the forest a little bit. If it's a painting for myself, I'll take a little bit of time and I'll meander. You know, I'll just kind of play and speak, and you know, it's very different compared to working for a client. Different process.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. It's you have a very good understanding of color. It's one of my favorite things too, with people who actually understand how to use color. I've actually commissioned a couple of pieces over the years, and the last one, the guy wanted a year to do it. I'm like, what? I said, a year? I said, by then I won't want it anymore. You know, my personality changes a lot. I'm a little skitsy, so I was like, can you do it in like 3 months? Yo, no, and it wasn't even that complicated.
Well, you know,
It was,
what really honed my color matching abilities was when I started working at the paint store.
well, that makes sense.
Yeah, when I got hired to work at this paint shop in Canada, my he became like my second dad. Lanny Reed, he owned this paint store, and it was paint, and this man could match anything by eye. He didn't need the machine, so he trained me how to match by eye. And so 16 years later, I was still.
You're breaking up there, so I'm not sure what's causing that.
Oh,
Yeah, you just,
maybe it's the sound of the cars. Is that okay?
No, it's
yeah,
better.
you're back now, but
Yeah, you got closer, got better.
Yeah. Okay. I'll make it a little bit closer then. But yeah,
He's your second dad. I got the second dad part.
Oh, second. Okay. So my boss, Lanny Reedman, he became like my second dad because he trained me how to match color by eye because he could do it, and he didn't need the machine. So when you go to like a Home Depot and you bring him a sample and you ask them to match the color and they'll put it under the machine to match it, he didn't need that. He could do it by eye, and he taught me how to do that. So because of that training, I felt like it really helped me hone in on my color matching abilities for all of my paint.
I can understand that. One of my best mixes was at BLP. I used to bring him stuff all the time. I said, Dan, can you do this? He said, Joe, you just like challenging me. I'm like, no, I just need it. And he'll come back and bring. I have never returned paint to his store ever. But now I have to Home Depot and Lowe's and a few other places that actually use the machine to match it. They stick it under the thing and beep. Okay. And then they match it. And it always shows the difference when I go to touch it up. But when Dan does it, it never. I mean, when he did it, never. It was perfect. It made my life so much easier too, because I could go in and touch up a house or an apartment and save a bunch of time, save the client money, and still make a good chunk of money. Because a touch up on a 2,000 square piece was about $700. Took all of about 20 minutes. So it was nice to have somebody say, I said, yeah, I can understand that, because he had an eye and a half of that. I would crack up. I'd give it to him. He's like, all right, let me do this. The only thing he hated is every now and then we'd bring him a white that had been, there were heavy smokers in the house.
Challenge accepted.
Yes. And he would do it. Yeah, he would do it, but he would, yes. And it's just part of it though. Oh wait, where were we at? And I lost where I was.
Larry Elmore talked about how he had problems matching colors, mixing colors and stuff like that to do different things. And he had to have a friend teach him how to do it so he could actually do the color mixing. That's really important with oils to be able to do that properly, to get the exact tones and hues that you're going to use to get the real light.
Like she just drops little pieces of color here and there that you wouldn't think works, like in this lion in his nostrils and his mouth. I'm thinking that looks fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
And then just the way you've shaded out the colors of I guess that's the mane coming out. That's what it looks like anyway. It just is so nice, and it flows. You know what? That kind of looks like Emily's hair, man. Okay. The way she got her, she's got her shaded right now. It looks really good. It's I don't know. That's I couldn't do that. I can match colors, but I couldn't do that. I'd be like,
yeah. Are we on the right page for the art that you did for DragonCon?
So I did see it. If you go into original artwork or go to shop.
Okay, shop. There we go. We're in the shop.
Yeah, shop. And then there should be an option that says original art under shop.
Okay, let's go look. Shop. No, it doesn't say nothing about no original art. Maybe it's nope. It doesn't say.
Scroll down farther.
Okay, we'll keep scrolling. And looking at all these pictures makes me want to stop. Okay, where am I? Wait, where? Oh, right there. Okay, I see it. Okay. Yeah, I got you. Okay, there we go. Let's get back. Oh yeah, I was looking at this a little while ago.
Yeah, so that was the T-shirt design I did, not last year, but the year before.
Yeah.
I was wondering why that big heart was in the middle of it. And that makes sense.
That's why
that makes sense. Okay.
And their tails, the dragon tails, are intertwined together, so that represents the helix of the of the, you know, like the two snakes that represent the blood, like the DNA.
Yeah, the helix.
But that was done in oil, and that was a lot of fun to do, and I really enjoyed it. And it was so cool because I had people come to my booth and they brought me their T-shirts and they'd ask me to sign them for them, and
Oh, that's nice.
I got to feel like a little celebrity for a couple of days. It was nice.
Well, you were. You are.
Oh, you're already a celebrity. Yeah, you'll just get to be a bigger one as time goes on.
Just don't forget us little people as you keep on growing.
That's right.
Pish posh.
It's,
that'll never.
Well, it's interesting because you've got like Echo and Bob Eggleton. You know, they talk about diversifying, and that's a key thing. What you were talking about there was also being able to diversify as well. You know, because Echo can do any aspect. I think probably any aspect of art. And Bob talked about, because I've known Bob since the late 80s, you know, and worked with him because he's been a judge for a long time. I met him. He called me talking about this new girl he met named Marianne. And
Marianne's a good friend of mine now.
What's that?
Marianne lives very close to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've got her number. We're very good friends now, and in fact, we're going to be staying together when we go up to do DragonCon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I love her. She's awesome.
Yeah, she's amazing. But anyway, so he's talking about he does all types of. He was known for obviously for Godzilla. That's his big. His claim to fame is doing all the Godzilla stuff. But he's got dragons, and remember one Dragon Con, he was there. He was the artist guest of honor, and they had a painting up there. He was a couple hours ago, he was painting, and so I saw him and was talking to him as he was doing his painting throughout Dragon Con. But it's he just says it's important to be able to diversify and do lots of stuff, so you just don't get pigeonholed as this type of artist. You got to be able to do, you know, whatever asked, you know. And what made a big difference for Echo and a few other winners as well that I've remained in touch with when the pandemic hit, because they had lots of different things. They didn't take the big hit like others did when all they could do was a certain type of art, a certain way of selling it at conventions. She was still able to go and keep on keeping on even throughout the 3 years of the pandemic. That's important.
You gotta keep producing so people know who you are.
Yeah.
You know, you're always only as good as your last thing you do for anybody. It doesn't matter if it's art, radio, TV, movies. It's just how it works. It's unless you just do one of those pieces that are so stunning that nobody can forget about it. And then there you go. Then you're rich and famous. I have no doubt you're going to do well, April. Not even a little bit. That's I can see you making. I mean, you're already making looks like pretty good money, but it looks like you could be, you know, up there in the 7-8 figures. Definitely in the 7 figures. It's now I'm gonna have to pick on Tom more next time I see him. So I know, Tom, he was kicking your butt, man. You better get together.
I mean, even Tom Wood talking about his journey and his career up from how he started, and just again, Dan Dos Santos, just amazing. All these guys that you're looking at, you're like, oh, they're just amazing, but their beginnings are so humble. It's like you don't start at 100 miles an hour. You know, you start in first gear going really slow, and you're grinding your gears and until you get up to speed. I mean, Dan, he had a policy that he was never going to do anything other than artwork, and so he worked out his budget. He lived in the basement of his parents' house, and he would do flyers. He'd make flyers. He'd print and put on the car windshields, you know, promoting whatever sale at whatever store, but he would do the graphic design for it.
Right.
So he was determined he was going to just do art and continue to grow that, which he's done very well with. But Irvin Rodriguez, I mean, he's one of the most hardworking fellows you're going to meet. You know, he's just so dedicated, and he's making it, you know, and he's another just very nice person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love those stories.
Yeah. They're inspirational, you know, so other people are like, wow, if they can do it, I can do it.
Right.
You know, it's like you are where you are because you've worked so hard to get there, not because you woke up one morning and go, give me a paintbrush.
Right. Well, and I love hearing those stories, and you know, I definitely feel like that's where I'm at right now in my journey is humble beginnings. You know, and because I left my job, you know, as soon as I was going to graduate from art college, I quit my job and decided to pursue my career doing art full time and just see where it took me, and you know, and everything that I do. I never know what the next step is going to be until I arrive to the step that's in front of me. Like when I came to Dragon Con, I never heard about Galaxy Press, never once heard a word about the contest. And, you know, I went to Dragon Con because it sounded perfect for me.
Yeah.
It's Dragon Con. What could be more perfect than Dragon Con?
Yeah.
You know, but then I got to learn all about the contest, and if I had never gone to Dragon Con, I never would have been here sharing my experience about, you know, being a winner. And so, you know, it all leads to the next thing is what I mean. Just keep going.
The universe works in a very strange way.
Yeah.
It does. I left the Navy with advanced degrees in avionics and electronics, got a bachelor's in science, and ended up as a contractor. Made my first mill because of Hurricane Katrina. It's just a weird thing. It's, you know, because everybody's like, I can't believe you're not going to go do this. I'm like, well, you know, it just wasn't. And I got lucky, and I walked into a group of, I ended up having like 40 properties because my wife worked for Lake, and then my mom went and worked for another company. I ended up with 80. And before long, I had 170 properties I was maintaining all the time. So you just never know how it's going to work. So, and I never thought I'd do that, but painting is, I wish I could paint. I really do. I've tried drawing all kind of stuff. I just gave it up. They're always crooked or rickety. It's kind of funny, actually. It really is. But no, I was picking on Tom and Larry because we were talking about, we've been wanting to do a little contest. I know I've told you this before, but for a while, we just needed to find 6 people who could draw dragons. And I think we're at 4. I think we need to find 2 more. But I said, well, we'll put the 2 winners against the 2. I said 3 winners against the 3 judges and see who comes out on top. I gotta say, girl, I don't know. You may win it. I don't know. I mean, Larry's great, and I love Larry, and you know, I talk to Larry when I get a chance, but. I don't know, man. You got Tom beat already. I've already told him. I said, you might as well not come, Tom. He's already got you beat. He's like, he's I'm gonna smack you, Joe. I'm just telling you ahead of time. I said, you know, I love you, Tom. We're just trying to keep you sharp, man. Yeah. But he draws so much. He sent me the very first time we ever did an interview, he sent me a ton of stuff over. And I mean, he was into everything. I mean, you name it. He was doing, plus he had that NFL stuff and NBA stuff, and you know, was doing a lot of that kind of thing, and commercial stuff. And then, of course, Echo sent me all those commercials over she was doing. And it's just, you know, it's a lot of money in that kind of stuff. A lot of money in the gaming stuff. And there's a lot of dragon games out there. I mean, well, down here.
Have you done cards at all? Any game cards at all, April?
So it's so interesting because over the years, and this is how it's happened. Over the years, I've known a guy who knew a friend, who knew a person, who knew a guy who knows the art director. And years that chain of knowing someone has shortened. So now I know a guy who knows a guy. And I've reached out to maybe 5 art directors, and you know, I've had 2 replies, or I think 3. But you know, I get replies, and you know, nothing yet, but you know, I will just keep pursuing, and I will just keep putting my out there.
Yeah. You should do a tarot deck.
So
you should do a dragon tarot deck. A friend of mine did the Daughters of the Moon.
Deck.
And yeah, he did. Danny did the Daughters of the Moon. First year it didn't sell any. Second year it sold 1.5 million. Third year it sold 3 million, and most of them were being sold overseas. They weren't even being bought here. And
right.
They were round. They weren't even nothing special. He kind of did them mostly in black and white. I mean, I was like, how much money did you make? He said, you don't want to know. I said, apparently I don't. And but I know 3 people who have done tarot decks and made more than $1 million.
I'd like to.
Yeah, and
I mean, I would really like to. Definitely.
And dragons are very popular, so and you're a very talented artist, so it's kind of a combination. But I imagine it's a long, drawn out process. So, what are there?
That's a lot of paintings.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's 72 or 74 cards in a deck. It's there's a 22 Acadian card. Yeah, I think there's 74. I think. I don't know. I'd have to go sit down and find out for sure. But I know a lot of people are into that kind of stuff, and hell, just on our network, you'd probably sell 50 decks. These people are crazy with them tarot cards. It's but hey, it's one of those things. And then, but see, you don't look like you need a full-time job. You look like you're doing well in your art, because I know Arcadian Gaming is hiring right now. They're hiring at $150,000 a year for artists, well, for illustrators, authors, and programmers. They're hiring at $150,000 a year. They don't like AI. That's why. They're going to use AI. They just don't like it. Well, so they would take someone, a talented artist. What they do is they take in, and some of this stuff, the way he explained it to me. So he has an artist on salary, but if the work is exceptional, then they buy the work individually instead of paying the artist a salary. And then what he does is he has that artist oversee. That's where the salary comes in. He has the artist oversee the AI's mass production to make sure it's being mass produced the way it should be. So what he did, instead of having a bunch of illustrators make all the drawings, he takes the one person, lets them, or 2 people, lets them do it, and then he uses the AI to mass produce them. That way he's keeping everybody at work. He's not laying anybody off because of AI. He hates it. But he also told me that where it used to take 3.5 years to produce a game, now he can produce one in 16 months, which means for you or whoever's buying the game, it's half the price it would normally be. So it's an interesting give and take, I guess. I'm just not a big fan of AI yet. Maybe, and I do quite a lot of work on. I did just finish one for the Miami Police Department not too long ago, and I did one for Dallas. I do work on debunking AI, because there's certain things you can see, drawings or writings, or there's just giveaways. They're getting better every time, but there's still giveaways: hands, feet, eyes, fingernails,
fingers, and
yeah. They're just giveaways, and and sometimes the knees are really weird looking. I don't know. There's some weird stuff sometimes. I've read 2 AI books. So the beginning was pretty good, and the end was decent, but there was nothing in the middle. It was like just paragraphs of jibber jabber. I mean, it was really nothing there to read. So it was like the AI lost itself and then found itself. I don't know. It was very strange. So there's a lot. There was the guy, and then I was telling John at the beginning of the show, the government wants to make it illegal, but just to be AI. So you're going to have to stamp. There's going to have to be a code inside of every AI to let you know it's AI. He said because if they catch them not, the government wants to fine them for doing it. And that just makes it fair play for all the rest of us out there. Because pretty soon they'll have, I was just telling him, Marco Rubio, the AI went around impersonating it. It was making calls to people in Europe. It was making calls to Congress and senators. They were using it and it sounds just like him. They were using it. Yeah, they were using it to hack in. It was a strange setup. So the government's now like, you know what, we need to put some restrictions on this, we think, which I'm all for it. I'm all for it. So Dragon Con, it ought to be fun.
It's fun. It's a party.
I always have a good time at Dragon Con. I'm always tired when I leave, and I'm always 10 pounds lighter, but I always have fun. It's
it's like the Mardi Gras. It's like the Mardi Gras of conventions, I would say.
It is. Well, we've been pushing for something like that in New Orleans. The one they had, or the one that comes down here is, I don't want to use that word, but it's poor. Let's say it like that. And there needs to be one in the deep south. Maybe, because Atlanta's deep south. No, Atlanta's not quite the deep south. The deep south is below Atlanta. So when we say deep south, we're meaning anything like 50 miles off the coast, 80 miles off the coast. That's the deep south. So, and that's those people. A lot of those people aren't going to drive to Atlanta. They don't, for some reason, they don't like Atlanta. And New Orleans people will only go to Atlanta when there's a Saints game. Other than that, they will not go. They're like, we're not going there. So when you meet a lot of people at the Atlanta, you're going to find that a lot of them are coming from up north in the middle of the country. There's not that many coming out of Miami or New Orleans, but I know we got to let you get out of here because it's getting late and you got money to make, girl. Make a lot of money. Think about them cards. You know, I always like seeing you work. You know, every now and then I see a piece come across Instagram. They're always good. As a matter of fact, I was doing something the other day and I had two friends standing by me and it came by and he said, "Well, I just stopped at someone to see April's." I don't even know what it was. And it was really colorful. And it's like, who the hell did that? I was like, she's one of the winners from Writers of the Future. And then they're all flipping through your pages, seeing if they can buy something. I'm like, well, go on, guys, get out of here. Go home. You got your own computers. Get off of mine because these are all station computers. But no, I really do like your work. I've liked it since the day I've seen it. So, and I think you have way more talent than you give yourself credit for. But and you know what? It's one of my jobs. Is what I do here is to find people with talent that don't realize they have it. It is one of the things we do. That's why I have so many good.
And you're definitely one of the senior sweethearts that we've seen come across the finish line there at Illustrators the Future. So it's really nice to be able to maintain this our line.
Yeah, no, likewise, and it'll be well contained for all eternity.
Yeah, which is good.
Well, get the big conferences, make the big money. You know, when you're out there famous and you know in the art museum with all your art, remember us poor people.
Exactly.
When we stop by to see you and they're going, y'all can't come in here. You're too poor to come in here, people. But we know her. No, get out of here. Just please remember us then. Crystal, you can find all of her work. We just posted it a few minutes ago.
Yeah,
and
so it's AprilSolomonArt.com or that's at April Solomon Art on Instagram.
Yep. That's it. I'll be at Dragon Con in the art show. So will be the Galaxy Press Publishing booth. I think we're going to be next door to each other, right?
Probably. It's kind of like a thing now.
I love that. I so that every year now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Plus this year we get extra space this year because we're going to have more of our winners featured. So 3 of them are going to be stationed there showing their arts. Yeah. So it's really cool.
Yay. So
we'll be right next to them. Plus, we have like half a dozen other winners over the years, too, that are interspersed throughout the show. So I said, we're going to do a thing. I'm going to get invitations to all the past winners. So we're going to work out a dinner that everybody can hopefully go to. I think we're going to go for Saturday night.
That'll be fun. Let's do it.
Yeah, definitely. It's 7:30 once everything closes down for the day.
I'm wearing a disguise. I'm coming into disguise, man. Coming into disguise. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to get out of here. I know I'm due to be on the chat in less than 20 minutes. So be sure if you're listening to this show and you're into craziness, you can stop by and check out the chat. It's not like this show. It's not refined. It's very bad. People act like, well, I can't even say the word they act like on this show.
Well, you're nice one was on it last week.
Well, John was, we were polite when John was there, but we'll be talking about a whole range of topics, you know, on the chat. There's a lot of topics. It's also listener driven. So the listeners get to pick the topics. We do bring on guests from time to time. There's a lot of stuff goes on over there, and we're always looking for hosts. Remember, it's a multi-host show. Usually there's 5 of us. I think tonight there's 3 of us. Come on by, say hi, don't get in trouble. If you got a good topic, send it in. Maybe one of the boys will pick it up and talk about it. And remember, I am very bad over there, so stay off my bad side. On that note, we got to get out of here. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to United Public Radio and the Arthur's Quill. Don't forget to catch out Writers of the Future opens up on the day. Coming up with the professional, which is Echo Chernick. She's always a sweetheart, and it's always good to watch. Sometimes her husband Lazarus there, so you can catch him in. And then we follow up behind them. Then the chat follows up behind them. And starting next week, Sean Hazlitt is going to be taking the late night slot on here. So y'all can check him out as Mr. Tank Driver.
he's a Writers of the Future winner.
Yeah, he's also a Writers of the Future winner too. We have a couple on the network, and no, Sean's a lot of fun. Sean's actually got a couple of PhDs. I just like to call him the Tank Driver because he drove a tank. It's and thank you, Stephanie. We do have 7 military people on the network. Yes, we do. So different branches. The only branch we don't have is that little girly branch called the Air Force. But other than that, we represent all the other branches. On that note, good night and stay tuned for the chat.